Oh,
No,
yeah,
that's when it comes to me, that's for sure.
yeah. So I mean that's really the three I think I would recommend right off the bat for somebody that really want to improve recovery and want to improve other things in their body as far as body mass or sleep or any of these other things that it might help. But yeah, those are the three main ones I would say. There were some other ones before that we used to have that are no longer upon us, and you can get over a counter. It's just really crazy about this. So GABA, we used to have injectable GABA, and they used to be in tight syringe. You know, GABA is awesome. I mean, as far as that goes, it would knock people out, keep them asleep, and not have any problems. The FDA doesn't want anybody to compound GABA anymore, but you can get it over the counter. So,
I take the supplementation.
yeah,
GABA.
GABA is awesome. Especially if you can get injectable. If you could, that's definitely the way to go for sure,
100%. The difference, because I've heard through a lot of HRT companies, the difference between ipamorelin and testamorelin. I hope I'm saying those correctly.
Yeah. So both
peptides, correct?
Both peptides. And then when we talk about testosterone, I mean, you're talking about something that's supposed to really stimulate growth hormone levels, IGF-1 levels. What we've seen on it. So I've had patients on testosterone, and some get great results. Some do not, and they're upset because the price point on testosterone is very expensive.
Okay, so the main point then now everything is just a light on my marble head. Mm-hmm. This makes sense. I have heard that the one was very expensive, mm-hmm. And it has been pushed that is the I don't want to say the gold platter, mm-hmm. of if you're going to do something, this is the realm of doing that. And so you've noticed that it doesn't work for everybody.
It doesn't work for everybody. They usually use it for basically testosterone is a little bit different as far as that goes, where they're using it for weight loss. The majority of people, they want to lean up, right? It's supposed to get rid of abdominal fat. Okay. That's what we're going to be using for HIV patients and stuff like that. That they start acquiring a lot of body fat as far as in the abdominal area. So that's one thing. Where ipamorelin and CJC 1295, they more stimulate the pituitary. Right, so they're more of an overall general effect across the board. And like I said, with testosterone, some people get great results from it, and some people don't. So it's it's a roll of dice, and like I said, it's really expensive. So you're talking about maybe $400 to $1,000, depending on where you're going to get it from, who you're sourcing it, and all that, compounding pharmacy wise. But it gets expensive, and there's other alternatives that are not as expensive that work probably just as good, as not even better. That you're going to get mass of people saying, "Hey, listen, I'm getting a great result from this."
So would you recommend then starting out just to test your numbers, find out where your numbers are, mm-hmm. and then maybe start with something that's affordable?
Yep.
Because I can imagine there's so many peptides, and that's why I'm still just trying to learn yes. about all the different aspects of it. And I think today's one of those days where now I'm really starting to get it.
Yeah.
So test the numbers, see if your IGF is going up on the blood work, and that will kind of tell you if this is a go or not go. And then if you want to, can you step up to the testosterone at Titan Medical? Is that something that's available to them?
Yeah, we can definitely get that peptide for patients. It's not a problem. As far as that goes, if people have used testosterone before and they've got a good result and they like it and they want to go forward with it again, I got no problem with that. For me, I like to make sure the patients are going to get results, because if not, they call you up and listen, I wasted $500, $600. And then most of the time, if a patient calls or they write in, because I'm still controlling social media, so I still write and see all the DMs. If they say something like that, or I see it on a post, I always ask them, hey, listen, what did we do for you? Right? Because one way or the other, I want to give them the results. And most of the time, I give them the results. And if I don't, I usually refund them all their money. And that sucks, but it is what it is. And it's good business practice to do that. Just to make sure there's no sour, milk, or nobody's, upset about this or that. I try to do and go far above and beyond for a patient to make sure they get the results. So that's.
It seems, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like that you try to stay, and to me, it's a good word, because it reminds me of me on how I'm with nutrition. I'm basic. Mm-hmm. How I'm with training. I'm basic. And it seems like for a company as big as yours, you try to stay basic and say, yes, there's things out here, and I'm wishing you could create this Wizard of Oz over here, but I'm letting you know this basic stuff will get you to your goal. Is that kind of right?
That's right. I mean, you got to keep it simple. You get it all difficult for people. And like I said, when you start, you can prescribe that. Listen, I got people that will buy almost every therapy on their first visit because they got the money and they want the result and they don't care what they got to do to get it, right? But when those people do something like that, like I said before, they buy a package, and it's okay to get multiple therapies. But when we're talking about 10, 11 therapies and you've never done anything in your life, when you get that box and you see 200 syringes in there and bottles and you got to reconstitute medication, you're like, oh, my head starts spinning. And they call the office like, oh, my God, what did I get myself into? And then you just walk them through it and you kind of go through everything through it with them. But, I mean, listen, that's okay for some people, but I try to tell them, hey, listen, let's get some of these different things because it's not a quick race. It's a marathon, right? So we start.
You got the world champion over here that's 43.
Yeah,
you don't need to send 30 things. No. He's got plenty of years to catch up to my old age, and be better than me at my age for doing what he's doing. And I think don't you think that's a common? And we said this before we filmed.
I think one of my favorite quotes that I'll probably touch on is never compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10. Because there's a lot of stuff that we've gone through, a lot of hoops that we've jumped through prior to being where we are today.
Sure.
And I think, with all of the stuff that you guys are offering, I think it's amazing, for people of today not to take great advantage of it, because everybody wants a quick fix. Another great analogy is that your body's not Amazon Prime. You don't order it today and it comes tomorrow.
Right.
As
I'm sitting next to, the leader of the pack here.
That's it. A lot of people, because we're living in an era where, information is so vast.
Yeah.
Information overload. Yeah. Where, and there's so much conflicting information out there on everything. So we'll say one thing, another person will say another thing. So with clarity, I think what's important is, like, I'll listen to a billionaire talk about money, but I wouldn't listen to a guy that lives at his mum's house driving a Ferrari talk about money.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And that's the difference. You have to be able to siphon the shit, excuse my language, out of the information that's out there in regards to, blood work, training, nutrition, everything that you want to try and achieve within your physique as humanly possible. And I think like Mike asked me a question today whilst we were training, and he said, imagine you had the knowledge that you have today at the age of 15. I was 1995, I was 15. So and imagine I had the knowledge I have today.
Yes.
In 1995, where I would be today.
Yeah.
And that information is available to the average 15-year-old.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we didn't have all the social media platform. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have lives. We didn't have anything like this to be able to be somewhere else around the world. Uh-huh. And, we couldn't even get the US magazines. So if I was in the UK growing up, our magazines were completely different to your magazine. Wow. We'll try and get so the only thing you had was information that the internet wasn't as big back then. So you had the information that you picked up from magazines and people that train at your local gym, the guy that's in the best shape at your local gym.
That's right.